Hey everyone, how we doing? It's Connor. I woke up about half an hour ago. And I wanted to just kind of chill and talk. Scholar, first of all, thank you very goddamn much for 28 months of support. Holy shit. You have given, if not the most, some of the most direct support to this channel and me in my career. Thank you so much, Scholar. Holy shit. Like, you shouldn't. Not worth it. Hey everyone. Here, let me swap to the IRL scene. If we're gonna just be talking anyways, no reason to stick around on this screen. Let's get to talking. Let's get to chilling. Just wanted to relax for a bit. My hair is really fading now. I have more dye. I should reapply it. Welcome aboard, everyone. Cricky? I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. Took me a while to realize you stream on Twitch. This is my first time visiting your stream. Welcome aboard. How you doing? I'm okay. Stressed. Let's talk about that. Well, let's start with something a little nicer, huh? First of all, I talked about this a little bit on stream, but I didn't really get to the meat of it. I made a whole video about it, which helps, but, I am now at 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, and that's fucking insane. Like, I kind of hit 100K and went, oh shit, that's cool. Yeah, thank you all. And then made a video. And now it's kind of starting to sink in. Hey, that's 100,000 people. Good God. What am I doing? What am I doing that 100,000 people went, you know what? Yeah. This is that shit. This is my shit. This is that good shit. That good stuff, that really, really good stuff, this is my stuff. I try to put effort into my videos meriting an audience. I was gonna say larger than I have, but that sounds bad. Let me figure out how I want to phrase this. Like, in the same way a lot of people will tell you dress for the job you want, not for the job you have, which is great unless you're a sanitation worker. You want to make content for an audience of 1 million, even if only 10,000 are watching. This doesn't mean that you should invest ludicrous amounts of effort into something you know isn't gonna get any attention. But it's worth going the extra mile, even if not as many people as you may hope end up seeing it. Thank you very much, Quip, for 100 bits. We've reached 2/5 of a quarter of a million. Gordon, I'm now convinced with these subscriptions, we've now had the entirety of YouTube subscribe to us. Let me close out of some tabs there. There we go. Recently came out as queer, and the only reason I realized that was you realized that around the time you first started watching me, so thank you for that. I'm glad I could help by proxy. I don't really feel like I had a direct hand in that, but I hope I gave you a comfortable space to be in. Oh man. Oh, this is really fucking good coffee. I'm double checking the name, and I'm gonna grab a link to the site. Hey, y'all. You gotta support small business. You gotta support black businesses. You gotta support places other than fucking Walmart and Amazon, which I say on Twitch. But if you're looking for some really fucking good coffee, black and bold coffee, I'm drinking the dark roast right now. Holy shit. Holy shit, this is that good shit. This is that good shit. Biting the hand there a bit, yeah. Mr. Bezos, please. You have to understand. You have so much money. You have so much money. We want to spend some money some other places. You got so much of it. It's cool. I'm gonna keep streaming on your twitch.tv platform. Been a while since I saw a stream of yours. How you doing, Ken? Hello. I'm okay. I'm stressed, but I'm okay. I wanted to talk about that stress. So, it wasn't because I hit 100,000 subscribers, but it was a little bit after I hit 100,000 subscribers that a lot of stress all at once from social media hit me. I want to talk about that briefly. I'm not really involved in the Smash community. I have a lot of friends who are, but I don't have any sort of like direct line to the Smash community. But because I followed a lot of people who were, I was seeing a lot about all of that, everything that was happening there. I could go into detail, but I don't have all the details myself. I just know that a lot of people ended up being horrific, horrible sex monsters, and I'm glad that people are speaking up about it. That said, the fact that people are speaking up about it and it's becoming an open conversation is difficult for me because of things that have happened in my past that I don't really want to talk about. And trying to pretend that shit isn't happening is bad. That is extremely bad. So it is completely unfair for me to want that to be out of my feed, want it to be gone, want people speaking up about their horrible experiences that they had to be like just drowned out. That's bullshit. So I instead finally step back and I'm taking a break from Twitter. And also this came on the heels of me realizing this bad problem I had of waking up in the morning. And that's the problem. That's the whole problem. It's a big mistake. I should stop making it. But waking up in the morning and then spending like an hour browsing Twitter, like an actual hour in bed, half asleep, browsing Twitter, getting depressed, and then getting up and going, well, this is a good energy to start my day with. It's not. It's not a good energy to start your day with. And, I realized I needed to, if nothing else, uninstall Twitter from my phone so I wouldn't be tempted to just be sitting there constantly refreshing Twitter. I did the same thing, SFM. I did the same thing a couple of years, or like a year and a half ago. I'm sure not unrelated. Around the time I realized I was non-binary, I was still using Reddit a lot at the time. And it's, check my notes here. I don't have any paper to crumple for this joke. It's a cesspool. It's bad. It's not good. So, speaking of which, I haven't taken my, anxiety meds yet. So I can't recommend using Reddit in general. So I uninstalled Reddit from my phone, and both when I uninstalled Reddit and now that I've uninstalled Twitter, I'm doing the same thing where I will idly open my phone and tap where the app icon used to be. So what I've done is I've started playing solitaire a lot on my phone because it is so nothing and boring that I close my phone and put it away. Hey, Sydney. My Twitter feed was filled with a lot of artists, and comic artists too, and the comic scene is also having its own revelation of monstrous people in it. And again, it's a good thing that's happening, but it is triggering for me to see the details of everything that's happening from the perspective of the people who were victims, and I just needed to get away from that. And not to mention, I don't know if you all know that American politics are pretty aggressive. This might not be something a lot of you know, so let me be clear. People are real angry about the government, or angry that you're angry about the government. And that's all the time, constantly, all the time. And even when it's shit that I agree with that I see, it's extremely exhausting to have my place that's also supposed to double as my art and relax and talk feed full of angry stuff about, I hate saying politics because it's like, don't get political, like, you need to, and this isn't me talking about, like, the Black Lives Matter movement or protests. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about, like, people making fun of Trump in the same 10 ways over and over again and being like, hey, we're fat-shaming him. That's fun. Ha 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 ha. It's not fun. It's just tired and pointless and cruel. There are plenty of other things you could be making fun of about him other than his weight. You could reach even a little further. And then also people quote retweeting like TERFs and other pieces of shit to dunk on them, and like, yeah, this is funny, but also you're continuing to give them attention and a platform. It's just, Yeah, and again, that's not talking about the protests. The protests have been nothing but... It's weird to say the protests have been nothing but good, because the protests have happened as a result of continuous horrible treatment. But, the actual willingness for people to speak out and fight back against just... I was gonna hesitate to say it, but like borderline fascist bullshit is good, and I want that to continue happening, and that's not what was bothering me. It was the text-based versions of political cartoons that were getting exhausting, and like, I could unfollow people who were retweeting it, but it just became so ubiquitous on Twitter that eventually I'm just like, oh my god. Oh my god. I follow a handful of people on Twitter now, but I don't really check it anymore. I pop in occasionally because I DM people, and there are some people I'm only in touch with there, but I'm trying my best to just step away from it, at least for a while. The timeline is mostly comics, except for the occasional LGBT discourse. Besides that, it's mostly art or memes. It comes with following a lot of people in the industry that inherently are going to see a lot of what's happening in the world. And for me, what's better is to keep up with the news, read the news directly, and occasionally pop in just to kind of get a gauge for what's happening. Because, like, all the stuff that was happening in the Smash scene, I wouldn't have known about if it wasn't for Twitter, I don't think, anyways. So, it's good that I know about that. But constantly seeing the details of what was happening was super bad for me. Thank you very much, Christopher. 33 months? Jesus Christ. That's too many months, buddy. Hey, buddy, that's too many months. But thank you. But that is too many months. That's not exclusive to France, Kraz. There's a lot of homophobic shit and like just bigoted shit within the LGBT community as well. Like people, like you have bullshit like TERFs and the LGB community that is specifically anti-trans, which is horseshit. And then you have people who are like really uppity about themselves and their identity, but not other people, if you feel me. Like it's I could sit here and talk for a while about how it doesn't matter if you think that it's unfair or whatever that a lot of marginalized identities have been compiled together and sort of put into one community, because without having a sort of focused arrow to fire, nothing is going to get done. Without having a contiguous LGBTQ plus community to actively push for change, people in charge who are straight white cis men are not gonna fucking care or pay attention. Yeah, like the constant refinements of the LGBT community, trying to narrow it down to something more specific until it's you're basically just creating the me community, people who are exactly like me and no one else. And it's just bigotry from behind a shield of using the fact that you're queer as a defense. And the people who say, ew, you're cis, are actually real. Can't tell if they're joking. Yeah, no, they're mostly joking. There's literally nothing wrong with being cis, for Christ's sake. Absolutely not. But a lot of trans people have had to deal with cis people being extremely aggressive and gross and problematic and disgusting to them, and it can end up coming out as being scared of cis people. And I think that it isn't so much an argument of if that's wrong or right, so much as it is there, and in order to address it, societal change needs to happen to make sure that it's not considered a cool default or, oh, it's just a weird quirk of them that they're a TERF. Like, oh, she wrote such a good school book about a magic boy. Did you see the magic boy school book she wrote? Fucking, we can forgive a little bit of a little bit of transphobia. That's okay. She wrote the good school book. Remember that one? Yeah, there's literally nothing wrong with being cis, but like in the same way that the Black Lives Matter movement has to deal with people coming in saying, but all lives matter. Like, the point is that at the moment there's real problems with society against Black lives, and coming in and trying to add on everything else over top it doesn't help. If Black lives don't matter, then all lives can't matter is the thing I've heard people say, but it boils it down to just fucking catchphrases, and it's lame. let me try to say this in a better way. I saw a comic about this, actually, that's perfect, of someone... I wish I could find this comic. If someone could find it so I can link it and credit it, I'd appreciate it. Someone's arm being broken and bleeding and horrible, and going, oh god, doctor, my arm is broken, help. And going, okay, but we gotta check out this other arm first. Hey, what about the arm that's bleeding and hurt and damaged and severe? Well, no, but both of your arms matter. All your limbs matter. Like, but we should probably deal with the one who's being hurt first. I like, that's actually another inherent problem with Twitter. If you want to look up, like, a comic or an image or a post from a while back, you kind of can't, because there's no tags on anything. Unless they hashtag it themselves with a bunch of hashtags, which is also considered lame, then, like, you can't find it. Don't Google my arm is bleeding. Yeah, I wouldn't do that either. I'll Google... oh, okay, there's a couple of different variations on this comic. The one I was thinking of ended with the doctor riding away on a skateboard, so... Apparently werewolves were a metaphor for AIDS in J.K. Rowling's book. I didn't know there were werewolves in Harold Potter. That's fucking great. But the point being that, getting back to what I was saying, trans rights are human rights. Saying that and promoting the idea that trans people need to have equal rights and be considered equal people because they are, and then having people come in and say, but what about cis people? Like, there's nothing bad happening there right now that isn't bad things that are happening to all of us as people in general. Like, we should address the actual problems first, because we can't have equality until we do. Much in the same way that you don't get a blue shell when you're in first place in Mario Kart, you don't need to have support bigger than the support that everyone is getting when you're already the majority group who isn't being marginalized and attacked and hurt. I saw the Harry Potter movies and I read the first 2 books. And I liked them as a kid. I'm not gonna pretend I didn't. Like, that's a lame thing I see people doing. Like, when you realize that someone is a problematic piece of shit, trying to kind of rewrite your perception of them over time as saying, I never liked them, I always knew. And if you did, chill, that's cool. But if you are someone who genuinely liked this, it's better to own up to the fact that I liked something from a creator who ended up being a massive piece of shit, and it's good that I own up to the fact that, hey, turns out they're a piece of shit. Christ. And it's okay to be mad about it. It's okay to be upset about it. And a very cool thing I saw doing was artists showcasing different ways that you can turn Harry Potter tattoos into just cool designs of tattoos that have nothing to do with Harry Potter. And, like, that's a neat idea of going, you liked this thing so much, it was such a formative part of your childhood or the media that you consumed, that you were willing to tattoo yourself, and then it turns out, hey, J.K. Rowling is a massive piece of shit, and there were a lot of really racist undertones here that you weren't aware of because you hadn't lived those experiences or just weren't aware of them, you just didn't think about it that way, you were a kid reading these books, then acknowledging, fuck, turns out this person sucked. Christ. Like, and not even just was weird or uncomfortable, is genuinely terrible. Okay, I like their shit, but I feel morally obligated to not support them anymore. Your favorite part of Harry Potter? Yeah, your favorite part of Harry Potter. That's a hard thing to say. Is all the trans peeps who wrote trans fanfiction that J.K. Rowling has no control over? Fuck yeah. I'm not saying that you shouldn't, like, review the media or the content with a new perspective after seeing the person being a piece of shit. I'm saying that you shouldn't pretend that you didn't like and stand this thing before when you did, because then you're just sort of bearing under the rug the impact it had on you, and I don't think that's wise. I think it's better to acknowledge the change in your perspective and opinion, because then you can grow. What's your opinion on writers having LGBT characters just to be inclusive? If they do it well, then it's good. Having a character whose entire personality is gay is bad and lame and dumb. But having a character who is LGBT and has their own personality and is just their own character is good. I would say a good example of trying to add inclusion against the odds in a way that was good is the ending of Korra, where the writers were like, we know Korra is bi. Absolutely she is. And we want to make this fucking happen. And Nickelodeon wouldn't let them, like, do much of anything with it. So they did the best that they could with it. Nice shirt. Thank you. It's from GB. Let me grab a link to her. Of course I have to go to Twitter. let me grab a link to her account. Ooh. This is who I got the shirt from. It's absolutely fantastic. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is weird. Brooklyn Nine-Nine is... It has a lot of really funny shit in it, and it has a lot of really good characters and acting, and I really like the way it does representation and how it makes it part of the story, but it doesn't make it the character's entire story. And I really enjoyed the episode oh god, I'm forgetting characters' names. Buff kick your ass chick. Oh my god, I forget her name. It's been a while since I've seen the show. Rosa, thank you. Yes, Rosa. Rosa being bi and her parents not being cool with that. That entire episode was great and really well handled. Also, it's a cop propaganda show. Even if it's supposed to be from a comedy perspective, and if they do address shitty cop issues, it's still a cop propaganda show by its very nature, and that's the problem I have with it. Also, not to mention Terry Crews is a piece of shit. Do you have a stream schedule? I used to, but things have been too crazy recently for me to have a schedule. I tweet about when I'm gonna be streaming. So that's the best way to find out. I usually stream around 1 p.m. CST. I do want to try and get back to a schedule, but it's just it's hard. It's hard right now. Apparently, new season will be rewritten. That's interesting. I'm not smart enough to figure out the best way to rewrite the show to keep the same premise, but to actually address issues, because if I were to have control over it, my thing would be that all the cops quit. But you kill your show doing that, but maybe the show does need to wrap up. Who knows? Like, after enough seasons, maybe you're like, you know what, we've told the story we want to tell, we've told the jokes we want to tell, it's time to move on. I also wanted to talk about upcoming videos. I posted 2 Half-Life videos recently about the best way to play the original Half-Life between Black Mesa, Half-Life Source, and the original, and also about the spin-offs, which people were very, very adamant spin-off is the incorrect term to use in the comments. These are expansions. They're expansions. They're not. They're expansions, but they're also spin-offs. Spin-off doesn't mean non-canon. It is a spin-off game based on the ideas of Half-Life, but with a different character in a slightly different scenario. It's spin-off. It's what it is. It's what it is. And I would have said expansions, except for the fact that I also was covering Decay and Uplink, which aren't really expansions. They are add-ons, if anything, and Uplink is just a demo. So spin-off was the best all-encompassing term I could use for all of them. Anyways, those videos are doing very well. The first one has like almost 80k views at this point. The second one has over 30k, and I'm extremely thankful for that. And if I'm being completely honest, videos that get a lot of views and help me pay rent and bills and taxes and get me decent amounts of ad revenue, that's pretty good right now, because I had a lot of videos that didn't, which is annoying. Like, I had a lot of videos I spent a lot of time working on that don't get a lot of views, which is to be expected, but also, like, this is my job. So, I'm probably going to do another Half-Life video soon, because I have another idea for a video that I've already got all the footage for. I have the script about, like, halfway done. I'm going to try and get that out sometime next week, probably. It's about Half-Life 2 and the ammo economy in Half-Life 2. 100k subs. Fuck yeah, cat girl. Let me actually quickly check. I wanted this video because of the type of video it is. It's about the gunplay in Half-Life 2. I wanted it to have audio so you could hear when, like, I was firing but my gun wasn't firing or anything like that. Just, like, actually hear the different audio cues that are important in the game. So I had to re-record Half-Life and Half-Life 2 because usually I'm listening to podcasts while I record them. So I instead had, like, one headphone off, or I had earbuds under my headphones when fucking fireworks were going. Had a podcast on, and then I recorded with audio. So I now have fucking 470 gigabytes of footage of Half-Life, Half-Life 2, and the Half-Life 2 episodes. I played Half-Life 1 again. To be fair, I've gotten really good at Half-Life 1 at this point, where I can now beat it in, like, 2 sittings easily. But yeah, I have episode 1 in 1 video, episode 2 in 3 videos, Half-Life 2 across 6 videos, Half-Life 1 across 2 videos, or actually across 3, and then I have Half-Life 2, specifically talking about ammo management and the fun challenge I did where I unbound the reload key, across another 6 videos. So I played through Half-Life 2 twice, and I have 2 different versions of it. Thankfully, I was able to, because of the nature of it, start from after, start at root canal, start like a good ways into the game when you actually first get a gun, and then end right when you get the super gravity gun, because I already have footage of that shit from my other playthrough, and the whole point was to do it without reloading, so. Oh, Half-Life Alyx is fucking great, yeah. That's your entire hard drive. I have 3 drives in my computer, and then I have a bunch of drives sitting on my desk, and I also have, a fun backup drive. That's just the USB drive, but this is where I have a lot of my stuff backed up. Talk about No, as they were saying, as in, because Modern Warfare updates are so big, talk about Modern Warfare updates. That was the joke, yeah. But I have a 2 terabyte hard drive, which is where I keep all my footage, my video files, and everything. I have a 1 terabyte SSD, where I have all my games installed. That's a SATA SSD. And then I have a 500 gigabyte M.2 SSD, which is plugged directly into the motherboard. That is my OS and programs. And that is lightning fast. Absolutely fantastic. You need to get more storage. You have so much crap in your PC that you don't want to get rid of. Hard drives are cheap, thankfully. You deleted a ton of games, now you have like 20 gigabytes free and you've never felt more carefree. How much do I have free right now? I recently did a Windows reinstall. My OS has 400 gigs free. My games drive has 550 gigs free, and my assets drive has 1.5 terabytes free. 1.25 terabytes free. At some point, I want to get like a 10 terabyte hard drive and then never have to worry about losing footage or deleting footage ever again. I do keep backups of... Nowadays, I keep backups locally of all of my videos that I make and care about, if you feel me. Like, since everything from the Payday Secret video onward, and like all my old reviews and shit, I all have those archived. And for the more recent ones, starting after, I think starting from the Portal Stories? No, the Killing Floor video, I think. I keep local copies of them, so they're in higher definition. So if anything ever happens to YouTube, I'll still have the original quality videos ready to go. I keep it in a folder called The Crypt. And that is, it's only 55 gigabytes actually, because it's all compressed. You had hundreds of gigabytes worth of replays and recordings of random stuff. Holy shit. You want to get a Raspberry Pi media server? Fuck yeah. Thank you, Quip, for 50 bits. YouTube won't stop recommending me your Goat Sim Heist video. Of course that's the shit you gotta deal with. I still have my old motherboard just sitting in my closet over there. I need to get a power supply and a GPU for it. I don't even need a GPU depending on what I want to do with it. There's a couple of different things I'm thinking about doing with it. I'm thinking about making an emulation station, maybe making a router with it actually, because that's something you can do as well. Or just making like a media computer in general, just like, hey, we have a bunch of movies and shit downloaded on this and games and whatnot. I've been playing through a couple of games recently, not to record or to stream, just for fun, and it has been extremely liberating. Let me actually talk about that for a little bit. First things first, I have played through, sort of, asterisk, I've played through the first 3 Mass Effect games for the first time ever, blind going into them. Just beat Mass Effect 3 yesterday. I don't know what I was waiting so long for. Holy shit, that was such a good ride. The ending of Mass Effect 3 was weird and dumb, but, oh man, I'm so glad I did that. Only ever played 2 in Andromeda. 2 is my favorite. I didn't actually play Mass Effect 1. I watched Austin play Mass Effect 1 with my character that I was going to take into Mass Effect 2, and the reason for that is Mass Effect 1 is a bad video game. It plays terribly. There's something... I'm not sure if it's something wrong with the emulation that the copy does on Xbox One, or what, but it plays at like 10 FPS. Like, if there's any more than one enemy on screen, the game just dies. It would have been unplayable for me. Absolutely unplayable for me. So he played through and I made all the decisions. I made all the dialogue decisions going forward. And then I ported over to Mass Effect 2, and I took over from there, and then Mass Effect 3. How was it? It was fucking great. I loved it. 360 version just doesn't run well. Yeah, as it turns out. I played as Fem Shep and dated Garrus, by the way, if you're wondering. Beautiful boy. Beautiful, beautiful boy. And what was I gonna say? Yeah, the trilogy on PC maybe will be better. I think the PC ports have their own issues, but like it can't be. At least with Mass Effect 1, I don't think it could be worse than how the fucking 360 version ran. So, good luck. I also did play through. I beat Yakuza 3 recently. And move on to Yakuza 4. The Yakuza franchise is one of those that is very much a you have to be there sort of thing, if you feel me. Like, I love it. I could talk endlessly about it, but the people hearing me talk about it wouldn't really know what to think, because it's definitely something you have to experience firsthand if you want to get that entertainment out of it. So it's better to kind of play it for yourself and do what I do. I screen share it to my sister, and we play it together, and ooh, what a treat, what a ride. Is Yakuza 3 good? Yes? I understand why people didn't like it. It is nowhere near as macho as Kiwami and Kiwami 2 are. It is much more heartfelt and down to earth, but in a way that I personally fucking love. Running an orphanage as Kiryu is beautiful, absolutely fantastic. I can understand why people didn't like it, because it feels like a very weird turn for the series to take, but one that I'm very glad it did. But anyways, what else have I played? I played Outer Wilds. I played a lot of Outer Wilds. I think I beat the game in 20 hours. If you haven't played Outer Wilds, I don't want to spoil it for you. But the gameplay is like, it's a puzzle exploration game that's very much based on the idea of piecing together things yourself rather than activating certain triggers in game that then allow you to do other things. So you could beat the game in like 5 minutes if you knew what to do, which means it's the kind of game that can only really work once. But holy shit, that once is so good. It's so fucking good. Oh man. Yeah, I would highly, highly recommend Outer Wilds. And if you are someone who streams, don't stream it. Don't do that to yourself. Just play it for yourself in your off time. Listen to some music or a podcast in the background while you're doing it. Can't recommend it enough. It's incredibly relaxing, incredibly good. Outer Wilds is an Obsidian. You're thinking of Outer Worlds. Outer Wilds is a puzzle game. I will link Outer Wilds to into the chat. That is Outer Wilds. It is a puzzle game. It was on Epic for a while, and it recently released on Steam. There are a few games and shows that I wish I could just go back and experience for the first time again. Yeah, Outer Wilds is one that I was very glad to experience blind. I'm so glad I didn't ever look up a walkthrough or anything for it. It was so satisfying to figure it all out for myself. Whew. No, Outer Wilds. Yeah, it's kind of an unfortunate name, admittedly. But, it's an excellent game. Assemble with Care is a shorter game I played recently. I'll also link that on Steam. It is like a 2-hour-long game that's kind of visual novel-y, but like, the main focus of it is around repairing objects, like repairing tech, and kind of like piecing it all together and screwing it together. So if you're someone who likes to tinker, I highly recommend it. It has a very good art style, very good music, good voice acting, good story. Don't want to spoil it. I'd recommend it. It's cheap as well. What else have I played recently? Other than Half-Life a billion times. Let's see. I beat the Mass Effect trilogy, Yakuza 3, Symbol with Care, Outer Wilds. I think Hard Space Shipbreaker. That's an early access game that I'll probably stream this at some point. As a showcase. Like, it might have been better if I'd streamed it blind, but I'm cool with it either way. Hard Space Shipbreaker is, you play as a salvage worker in a future, in like a capitalist future, and you break down ships into raw components to make money. And the kind of physics and individual workings of all the ships are really well thought out, and it's super satisfying. And I recommend it. It's good. It's definitely early access, so don't make the same mistake I made with Killing Floor 2 of playing it over and over and over and over again in early access when there was only 6 maps, and then getting super burnt out on it, and then when the game finally comes out going, oh, well, cool, but I'm already burnt out on it, even though now there's more content. I played a good amount of it. When I started to feel like maybe I was burning out a little bit, I stopped playing it. I'm going to wait until there's more content before I jump back into it. I think I'll make a good stream game. I'll stream that soon. I still plan on beating episode 2 on stream. And I'm going to still do that for charity. Currently, I am taking donations for myself because I have bills upcoming and could use the money, honestly. But that doesn't mean I want to stop doing charity streams. I want to still do them. It's just I can't only do charity streams when I'm also broke myself. Yeah, KF2 is kind of... I'm trying to think if there's any other games I played. I think I covered the ones I played the most recently. Oh, actually, no, there is one more. This is a dumb one. I played Black Clover Quartet Knights, which is is based on the Black Clover anime. It's kind of an anime like fighter sort of beat 'em up arena combat game sort of thing. If you think of an anime fighter, you pretty much hit the nail on the head. I played it with my sister because it has its own plotline, and we like Black Clover despite the fact that it's stupid. It's real dumb. We acknowledge that it's dumb and generic in a lot of ways, but also we love it. And also, a lot of the reason why we love it is because of the main character, Asta's actor in the dub, Dallas Reed. It just brings so much to it. Dallas Reed, and I'm gonna look up her name, but I believe it's Jill Harris. I will double check just to be safe. Sorry about that. Yeah, okay, yeah, it is Jill Harris. Jill Harris voices Noelle in it. And the two of them are engaged or married. I forget if they actually finished that or not. And they play like the two main love interest characters together, and it's so pure and nice and good. Oh my goodness. Black Clover, that game doesn't look great. It was generic as all fuck, but it had fun original story to it, so it was a good time killer. My sister and I just played through it to enjoy the story. I still need to play One Shot at some point. I have a bunch of games now from the Black Lives Matter. Let me try that again. Black Lives Matter bundle. Black Lives Matter bundle. Yeah. From Itch.io. A lot of games I need to get to. Coffee Talk is one I definitely want to play. What else? Well, it's Night in the Woods. Celeste was in that bundle, but I've already played Celeste. Highly recommended, by the way. Yeah, I definitely need to play One Shot. I'm not gonna name the game because it's not fair, I don't think. But I got an email from a PR firm about a game they wanted me to cover, and it wouldn't have been a sponsored thing. It would have just been a like, hey, here's a key for it. Just thank us that you gave us the key, and then review it. It's just like a PR bump for the game sort of thing. I played it, and I liked the gameplay fine, but the art and the music and the characters and the names all had some real kind of gross racist undertones to it in a way that, like, I don't even think the creator realized they were doing, and I just was kind of like about the whole thing. And even though I enjoyed the gameplay, I decided against reviewing it because it was an indie game. I didn't want to put the creator on blast, but like at the same time, it was still. Hello, Sakurai. Welcome aboard. Assemble with Care actually looks really, really good. I've been doing loads of tinkering and making during lockdown. And yeah, one of the reasons I'm so broke right now is buying materials and stuff for that. Yeah, I feel you. I have a $60 iFixit toolkit. I recently disassembled and reassembled the Xbox One that we had because it was overheating. It's still overheating, which is annoying, but it's also blisteringly humid here. But I did it just to clean it out, and holy shit, there was an entire cat's worth of dust inside of that fucking thing. Valhalla's I've been wanting to play. Cyberpunk Bartender. Yes, an original Xbox One. Got it back in I think we got that in 2016. At some point we'll probably pick up a I mean, maybe we'll get the new Xbox One. I don't know, the new Xbox, whatever it's called, the Scarlet Big Tower, the dehumidifier one, that one. Your PS4 is collecting dust. My PS4 is right here, plugged into a capture card to play Yakuza, and that's about all I do with it. Watch them port all the Yakuza games to Steam, though. It looks like they might, actually, and then like, cool, glad we spent that money. But, hey, by the time we do, we'll already have beaten them. The Xbox oven. Your PS4 has been surprisingly fine. You got yours Christmas 2016. Oh, that is actually one thing. I want to make a video about Gravity Rush, because it's a game I really enjoy that I think is underrated. But it kind of suffers from the fact that it's an exclusive, because, hey, exclusivity is bad for the market, and it only serves a purpose for the companies behind them. There is no reason for games to be exclusive unless there are physical limitations in how the game could otherwise be played, like VR, for instance. There's no reason for a game to be platform exclusive anymore. So it's bad. And then you have weird outliers like Nintendo, who's just gonna keep doing whatever the fuck they want and get away with it. And like, I'm not even immune to that shit. I bought a fucking Switch. Like, there's no reason they couldn't make their games PC based, except for the fact they want to sell you their console. At least the Switch has the portability going for it, at least. And then Microsoft has cross-platform compatibility and like the plug-and-play functionality of the console, so like that's also good. Sony wants you to buy their good box. Oh, and it's not even a box anymore. It's a weird like bow shape they want you to buy. Gravity Rush is an exploration combat game where you control gravity as your main form of movement and attack, and it's extremely good. Did anyone remember the final Xbox 360 model, the one that looked like an Xbox One but really ugly? No, but that scares me. There was some other shit I wanted to talk about. I made a list of shit I wanted to talk about for the Twitch announcement. Let me go check what I wrote down there, and that'll probably jog my memory. Creator dashboard. I wanted to talk about burnout. Yeah, about just getting fucking exhausted. I think this might be for me anyways, something to do with being autistic or just like neurodivergent in general. But I have these fun waves of productivity that I hit. I do this for everything, not just for making videos or streaming, but also for cleaning, for drawing, even playing games, just like where I will have this burst of energy of going like, yeah, I can do this forever, and then I do it for a while, and I'll you know, fucking spend 3 days in a row scrubbing down the entire bathroom, doing all the dishes, vacuuming every rug, doing 5 loads of laundry, cleaning all the counters, and then crash, and then burn the fuck out. And I try to stop myself from doing it, and I fucking can't. So, the same thing happens with making videos, where I'll have these bursts of going, I can make a fuck ton of videos, yeah, and then afterwards go, oh god, oh god, oh god, oh god, and then, and I'm feeling that decline right now. I'm feeling that fall at the moment. I'm gonna try and get this video about Half-Life 2 Reloading out, and then I might need to take a break for a while, at least until there are some games that are coming out that I feel like reviewing. BioShock is one I definitely want to play at some point. Yeah, I have BioShock Remastered installed. I need to get to it. I thought about streaming it, but there's like a thing about streaming games that I've never played before in styles that I've never played before, where people get real mad about it. Excuse me. Oh yeah, this new Crash game. I've never played any of the Crash games. That's one I don't even know if I really want to play. It's just kind of a weird enigma for me. It's a series. It's Orange Sonic. It's not. Don't worry. I'm not actually saying it's that. But that was how I always saw it as a kid. Was it's Orange Sonic, and that's probably partially because I didn't have a PlayStation growing up. Yeah, like that's just what I saw as a kid. I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm saying that's what I saw as a kid, and I don't think that's the case now either. But I just kind of went over my head. A lot of series that went over my head. Was Mordho the one that had the really weird racist shit? If I recall correctly, or is that another similar game, like chivalry style game? No, it was that. Okay, yeah. Communities of people idolizing a thing or an idea or a person, the bigger they get, the inherently worse they're going to get, usually. And I'm not exempt from that. We have some shitty problems in our community here occasionally. And I want to give some reminders about being responsible with taking in content online. The best thing I can say is don't put people on a pedestal. That's not me saying that assume everyone is out to get you or terrible, but at the end of the day, everyone be people. All the people be people. And trying to pitch someone up as this absolutely perfect human being is setting yourself up for disappointment. And this goes for me too. I'm not exempt from this, obviously. Don't put people on a fucking pedestal. And in the same way, don't put all of your investment into one franchise or one game or one thing. Diversify. Watch some other fucking shows. is a good thing I'm saying. Oh yeah, Square. We talked about that at the beginning of the stream. There's this annoying fucking thing. Okay, so hey, I have not and will not and do not care to see JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. It's not my thing. It's not my shit. I tried it once. Wasn't my shit. Didn't like it. It's fine. People can enjoy it. It's not a problem. You know what is a problem? Apparently there's a thing in the JoJo's community or show about Foo Fighters. I don't know what it is. I don't know why. I just know the name is associated with it. And then people saw me wearing my fucking Foo Fighters t-shirt. You know, the band Foo Fighters, the David Grohl band Foo Fighters, in my 100K video, and we're like, ah, a JoJo's fan. I see. No, fucking, it's a character in part 6. Okay. You know what it also is? It's a band that made Best of You and Arlandria and I Should Have Known and fucking and Run and Learn to Fly and a lot of other really good songs. Arrows, that one's underrated. JoJo's invented music. I'm not saying I blame JoJo's for having a reference to the band Foo Fighters, but I do blame members of the community who are like, yes, that's right. All is Joe. You recently heard of Rick Astley cover Everlong? Hey, guess what? Rick Astley is a fucking talented person. He's a fucking talented musician. Everyone memed that one cool song he did, but also he's actually good. JoJo's was an elaborate way to promote a mixtape. I'm probably gonna wrap up the stream soon. Kind of running out of things to say. Curse texted you a Nightbot timeout. It's because it's character limits, yeah. But which Rick are we talking about? Richard Astley, fame of I Am Not Giving You Up or Letting You Down fame. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call the stream now. I'm just glad I got to talk with you all for a while, and I wanted to address why I was leaving Twitter, for at least for now, and where videos are and what kind of videos are coming, and thank you all so much for 100,000 subscribers. I wish I could do more directly for communities, for the community, and for people than just making content and hoping people watch it and streaming and hoping people donate. But I'm doing my best here. I would very much appreciate if you all, without having to do it through me, would support charities like the Okra Project and the LGBTQ Bail Fund and a lot of other great places. Hey, thank you, the Freedom Fund they're called, by the way. Have some Dunkin' Donuts because you're epic. Thank you all so much for watching. I do hope everyone has a good day, has a good week. I'll try to finish up Half-Life Episode 2 soon, and probably stream some Hard Space Shipbreaker. I think people will be interested in that. Take care of yourselves, everyone, alright? See you around.